Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys can hear me. It's absolutely baking in the car. It's flipping. As you can see, I'm sweating hard as well, because it's really hot, to be honest with you. Really hot. And baking, absolute baking, man. Guys, all that good stuff. Smash the like button, give the channel a subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button if you haven't, and hit the like button on all the videos. Guys, I want to go straight into it. Billy Joe Saunders, Mr. Billy Joe Saunders, and Chris Eubank. Someone's asked me, who do you think wins that fight? I've said stylistically I think Billy Joe would be the favorite to win that fight, but I don't think that fight's as one-sided as what people think, especially after recent events, and especially after looking at their first fight. I think Billy Joe might have not been at his best in the first fight. However, I think Eubank has some attributes that can cause him problems. He has very fast hands, and what Eubank has is very poor feet, and that's why he gets outboxed. That's why he gets outboxed by most good boxers. However, if he can get behind, if he can improve that with Roy Jones, he could be a problem, and he could be a force, because he could outwork guys. You know, he's a bit strange as well, because I felt like he doesn't really throw enough punches. Sometimes he's a little bit like Broner, where he doesn't really let his hands go as much when you want him to. I don't know why that is. Is that because he doesn't like getting? I don't know. With Broner, it was definitely that. Sometimes as Eubank just seems like he's not letting his hands go enough. You know, it's not like he's gonna tire out. He's physically a very fit guy. Yeah, he's a bit Eubank. I don't know. He's a little bit strange at times. You know, Chris Eubank. I think there's a lot more ability than what people think that he's not bringing out. However, Saunders has got a style that is all wrong for him, really. When you think about it, Saunders has got a style which is all wrong for him. When you think about it, when you think about Eubank's style, it's tailor-made for somebody like Billy Joe to outbox him. However, Billy Joe suffered an eye injury with Canelo. Billy Joe, there's question marks around his hunger, his desire for the sport, and we know boxing is something that you can't play boxing. You can't play boxing because boxing's a very tough game. Very tough game. So it's a tough one for me. I don't think that's as one-sided as what people think. I think it's a lot more competitive. I think it's a lot more dangerous a fight for Billy Joe than what people make out. And especially after suffering that eye injury, we just don't know what left of Billy Joe. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Billy Joe and Eubank getting it on. I think it's a great fight. It'd be a shame. You know what? All this nonsense about the A side and stuff, that might stop it, because, you know, Eubank right now is saying he's the A side. Billy Joe saying he wants 5 million. So they both have an opinion of themselves and what they feel they want. I don't think the fight is worth 5 million. Billy Joe made 8 million for fighting Canelo, and let's be honest, you're not going to get paid 5 million to fight Chris Eubank, who's never been a world champion, who's not. Yeah, he's a biggish name, but that's not down to his boxing ability. That was because of his dad as well. Yeah, he's also captured the public, but let's not forget that, you know, that he had a leg up from, you know, his dad has, you know, people were intrigued in Eubank's career because of his dad and what he achieved. So I do think that, you know, he's definitely got a leg up there, where there's a lot of fighters that don't have that leg up that might be better than Eubank. You know, you got guys like Felix Cash coming through, you know, great fighters like that. And, you know, they haven't got the profile that Eubank has. But that's not because they're not as talented or not better. I do think, I know certain people think Cash beats Eubank. I don't at the minute. I think Eubank's got ability. It's just that he's hiding it. And what I mean by hiding it, it's not coming out. We're not getting to see the best of Eubank. Is that down to himself? Is that down to his mindset? Is it down to whatever? Because I wasn't even that impressed against Marcus Morrison. I'm just going to be brutally honest. But I do think Chris Eubank can win that fight. Because let's not forget that first fight, irrespective of whether Billy Joe was at his best or not, Eubank did well in that fight. You know, that was a close fight. Very close fight. People tried to make out Billy Joe schooled him. He didn't. That was a close fight. Very close fight. And if Eubank had adopted, you know, better tactics, he might have even got the decision in that fight. So I think we need to relax a little bit, because I do think that sometimes people get carried away with, you know, sometimes people get carried away and say, oh, well, guys schooled him, like people do with Calzaghe and Bernard Hopkins, because some people don't like Bernard Hopkins. Oh, Calzaghe schooled. No, he didn't. That was a close fight. No one schooled anyone in that fight. But, you know, people like to talk crap and this, that, and the other. But yeah, that was a close fight for me. That was no one-sided fight. No, nothing like that, you know. So yeah, personally, I'd like to see that rematch again. And in terms of who wins, I would slightly edge towards Saunders, but I wouldn't put a lot of money on it, that's for sure, because like I said, Saunders has been through a lot. He's gone through his eye injury, and again, like I said, Saunders sometimes lacks hunger for the sport of boxing, and boxing's a sport where if you lack hunger, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Simple as that. There's no ifs or buts. There's no other way around it. You're going to find yourself in trouble. So that's my take on it. That's my opinion on it. So yeah, I think it's a great fight and a fight that I want to see. Who wins? I'll let you guys leave your prediction. Who wins, Billy Joe or Chris Eubank? You tell me. Another thing, guys, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have been going it back and forth. I wanted 2 parts to this video, so give this video a double smash. Don't actually give it a double smash, because if you like it twice, you're gonna end up unliking the video. But yeah, this Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury is getting really boring now. You know, Anthony Joshua is talking about sparking Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is talking about, I'm going to ruin this bodybuilder. You know, it's getting a bit childish now. It's getting a bit childish. And to be honest with you, I don't really like blaming people. But the fact of the matter is that Anthony Joshua is doing all he can to make the fight. It's Tyson Fury who, let's be honest, he isn't pulling his weight, in the sense that he's talking a lot. But let's not forget, it's his and his team's fault that this fight is not going ahead. Because if we're honest, Joshua and his team were trying to make the fight, and then they're the ones that, you know, didn't do their side. I know it was a contractual obligation, whatever you want to say. But the fact of the matter is that's got nothing to do with Joshua, and his team was told, right, and the public were told that, you know, that's not going to stop the fight from happening. And Tyson Fury was giving all indications that the fight was going to happen. Now, Tyson Fury may have been misinformed, and he may have had no choice. But the fact of the matter is, Tyson, if that was the other, if the shoe was on the other foot, if Anthony Joshua was doing, imagine how much criticism he would get. Tyson Fury seems to get off light now. Before, Tyson Fury used to get a lot of criticism from the public, but I've seen there's been a shift where Tyson Fury is starting to become the nation's sweetheart over Anthony Joshua. That doesn't mean that I mean that in pay-per-view revenue and pay-per-view numbers and stuff like that, because Tyson Fury is yet to prove that he's a massive pay-per-view star in this country, which Anthony Joshua has already proved. But in terms of the chit-chat and all the talk, is getting really boring. The fans are getting very frustrated. Johnny Nelson came out yesterday and said that the fight's not going to happen. And that's not a good, that's not, I know Johnny Nelson just giving his opinion. Tyson Fury said that the fight will happen, but I think people are just frustrated. They're like, what is this? This is nonsense. And it is, when you think about it, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. You know, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating for the fans. It's frustrating for everyone involved, because we're not getting the fights we want to see, really. Let's be honest, we're not getting the fights. And it's definitely frustrating for the fans, because we want to see the best fight the best, and unfortunately the best aren't fighting the best here. They're not. They're just not. And the fans are good. Fans are starting to really become frustrated with, you know, because one thing I've noticed is the real mega fights that are hard to make. Like, the other fights get made, but the mega fights are really hard to make. Like your Spence Crawford, it's not being made. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, not being made. Anthony Joshua with Deontay Wilder, not being made. It's the real mega fights. There's a problem in boxing where the mega fights are struggling to be made. Golovkin, Canelo was struggled to be. I know they made it eventually, but it wasn't easy. So the real super fights, it seems to me that these big super fights are very hard to make. And the promoters struggle to make them. The networks struggle to make them. There needs to be more. There needs to be more done to make these big fights, because otherwise, these are the fights that the fans want to see, that the fans are talking about, the casuals are talking about. And unfortunately, these aren't being made. So this is bad for the sport of boxing. See, UFC, Dana White, because he's controlled by Dana White and he basically controls what happens, he makes the fights because he doesn't want the fans, to wait. When the fans call for it, he makes it. So in the UFC, you never get that one guy's avoiding each other. They fight each other. They haven't got a choice. In boxing, it's a case where, because there's so many different promoters and networks and this, that, and the other, everybody's trying to get an edge. And by getting the edge, they're not giving the fans what they want. Which is Spence Crawford, which is Joshua Fury, which is Joshua Wilder, which is, Canelo. Like, I know that happened, but Mayweather Pacquiao didn't happen for so long. So it's really frustrating for the fans, because we're like, what the hell is going on? We want to see the fights. Everyone wants to see the fights. So yeah, hopefully these fights can be made, man. I don't know if they are going to be made. Let's see if they can be made. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know. I'd love to know your opinions about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, the back and forth. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's getting boring. It's getting very, very boring now. Very, very boring, this Fury Joshua situation. And the fans are going to get switched off. The fans are going to switch off if they don't get, their act together. And we don't want these two to be past their best or to get knocked out. Because let's forget, Joshua's got Usyk. He could lose that fight. Fury's got Wilder. He could get knocked out. So yeah, man, make the fight. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.